right, so we getting into the next video, but shout outs to y'all, man. I saw a message somebody sent to me the other day, right? Somebody was like, yo, L, you taking us through the thick of it, ain't you? So I felt like I heard the nervousness in his text. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, if I keep watching these videos with L, who knows what I'm gonna find out? It's the same way I feel, bro. Who knows what we gonna find out? That's why we keep watching. That's why we keep watching, because of what we want to find out. All right. So the next video, on to the next one. This huge object just set off Earth's defense system after it was seen entering our solar system. Yeah, down through the thick of it. All right. So if you're new, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Join the fam. Let's check this out.
In recent years, NASA has observed countless interesting space events, many of which have helped us to develop our knowledge about the cosmos and what lies within it. However, every so often NASA and other space agencies will detect something that will leave them asking questions, and although most of these eventually get explained, some of them remain a mystery. Going back a few years ago, NASA's satellite stereo AHI-1, a space-based observatory, captured a strange event in space that lasted for several days. People were able to capture screenshots of what was happening, with some describing it as a force field popping up in space, while others said that it looks like an energy ring. People who were watching then said that a massive discharge happened, which in turn caused a giant bubble to appear.
See, this is what makes me nervous for all these billionaires and all these people who have a lot of money that are taking these space adventure tours right now, or ones coming up that they have already purchased a ticket and a seat for. We don't even know what all is happening up there yet. We're still discovering things. So randomly something can happen, and how y'all gonna know how to deal with it? Please explain that. That's what I think about when I see or hear stuff like this. Like, well, we just recently discovered this and it looks like this and it just came out of nowhere. But yet you want to get a ticket and just go up there and just see, huh? Nah, no thank you.
With some describing it as a force field popping up in space,
force field,
while others said that it looks like an energy ring. People who were watching then said that a massive discharge happened, which in turn caused a giant bubble to appear. Interestingly, not many websites posted about the discovery, and this made some suggest that the cause behind the anomaly could have been that of a lens flare. NASA themselves have said that anomalies appearing in photographs are actually quite common, and although some of these sites look really impressive, people shouldn't look too much into them because they're likely just camera anomalies. This wasn't the only interesting thing that NASA cameras had detected. This discovery was made by the Solar Terrestrial Relations Observatory camera, and it picked up on what some described was a large object travelling through our solar system. Many who saw the objects described it as looking like an Ezekiel wheel. This comes from the book of Ezekiel, and it's fair to say that out of all the stories shared within the Bible, the story of Ezekiel is one of the most fascinating ones, with some readers saying that depending on how you interpret this, it could be proof of advanced technology. This isn't a new idea, and those who believe in it have said that all you have to do is move around some of the wording, and all of these stories start to have an entirely new meaning. According to some, Ezekiel's wheel could be proof of a visitation, and that some type of craft was used by an advanced civilization, with some saying that these mysterious crafts have been witnessed on our planet for thousands of years now. They also point to various illustrations that have been made that also feature these mysterious aircrafts. Some have appeared in ancient paintings, while others have been found in ancient caves. These are usually explained by researchers as being pareidolia, and that's where we're seeing something that isn't a mysterious aircraft, but rather something that looks like an aircraft. However, some don't agree with this explanation, and suggest that there's something else at play. Many amateur researchers were excited by the images, as they said it was solid proof that something massive was lurking in our solar system. Others then said that NASA will most likely ignore these claims and try to brush them under the carpet. However, NASA did in fact respond. They said the following: "Some people have noticed an odd shape, sort of a cross inside a circle, that's entering the field of view of the HI2 telescope on stereo." This was around the 20th of February 2020. Eventually there is a cone shape that appears next to it. You can see the feature in question in this movie moving from right to left, just below on the right hand side of the image. The answer lies on the exact opposite side of the image. At the same time as the strange looking feature starts to be visible, the very bright planet Venus enters the HI2A field of view from the left. Notice that Venus and the feature stay in step almost exactly opposite each other. This is not a coincidence. The strange looking geometrical object is actually an internal reflection of the planet Venus within the telescope's optics. This effect has been seen many times before." End quote. Oddly enough though, just recently someone noticed an interesting symbol that was captured by the Curiosity rover, saying that it looked very similar to the object that was captured by the HI2 telescope on stereo.
Now explain that. Explain that. Coincident? I think not. I think not. I'd have saw that, bro. My heart would have like, what? Come on now. Certain things you just ain't gonna be able to just brush up under a rug all the time, and this is one of them. Explain that, please. That's very eerily similar. Trying to go back. Look at that. Now look at that. That's gotta mean something.
End quote. Oddly enough though, just recently someone noticed an interesting symbol that was captured by the Curiosity rover, saying that it looked very similar to the object that was captured by the HI2 telescope on stereo.
It does.
The image was uploaded to the Mars NASA website and was labelled as Microscopic Imager Sol 3720, and towards the right of the image someone noticed a strange carving on one of the rocks, saying that it looks similar to the object that was just seen by the HI2 telescope on stereo. Online users started to compare the two objects, and did point out that they look similar, but noted that more photographs need to be captured in order to get a better understanding of what this is. Interestingly, in July of 2021, NASA uploaded their website and talked about the unidentified phenomena. They said the following: "One of NASA's key goals is the search for life in the universe. To date, NASA has yet to find any credible evidence of extraterrestrial life. However, NASA has long been exploring the solar system and beyond to help answer fundamental questions, including whether we're alone in the universe. The agency's astrobiology program focuses on the origins, evolution, and distribution of life beyond Earth, for studying water on Mars, probing promising ocean worlds such as Titan in Europa, to looking for biosignatures in the atmosphere of our cosmic neighborhood." End quote. As of right now, NASA continues to deny these photographs, saying that although they look interesting, they don't show anything that points towards them being under intelligent control, and says that the general public should listen to what they say. Further noting,
So basically y'all telling us our eyes don't work. I need to go get my eyes checked. Cause it's nothing. It's nothing. It's just nothing. Change their name from NASA to nothing. It's just nothing. That's what they want us to believe.
Sphere of our cosmic neighborhood. End quote. As of right now, NASA continues to deny these photographs, saying that although they look interesting, they don't show anything that points towards them being under intelligent control, and says that the general public should listen to what they say. Further noting that they've never found anything of interest in any of their NASA recordings.
Okay.
One NASA worker said the following about these images: "All of these can be easily explained as space fluff or camera anomalies. There's no need to research them any further." End quote.
Remember, y'all, these are just camera anomalies. That's what they want us to think. These are camera anomalies. They just keep happening, but for some strange reason, they just keep happening. Yeah, okay. All right.
A trend that's seen across popular science fiction movies and numerous depictions of extraterrestrials that have the ability to telepathically communicate with an outside species, or amongst themselves. This has been a long-held belief of amateur researchers, and has been witnessed time and time again by abductees, and the accounts they detailed during their encounters. Claims of supposed instances of telepathy can vary from different detailed images in their mind that appear to be symbols, mathematical expressions, complex images, hearing a voice inside their head, and even being unable to discern their own thoughts with the thoughts being planted inside their minds. Physicists and scientists have recently announced that due to there being billions of planets in the Milky Way galaxy, and due to there being billions of galaxies, the likelihood of extraterrestrial life being out there is high, and this can be backed up with mysterious signals and exoplanets that's being discovered every year. Given the scientific evidence and developments of the human brain, is there a way to explain whether advanced life forms may be reading our minds? Before we continue further, it's important to note that there is evidence in scientific endeavours in the realm of neuroscience, and the ability to translate the neurons near the random electrical impulse firings into readable information that can be displayed or understood. In fact, back in 1999, there was a research study by Dan Yang at the University of Berkeley, California, that successfully recreated what a cat observes in the physical world, using pure data retrieved from visual neurons. So how can we...
Yeah, I remember one of the Batman movies with Two-Face and the Riddler, and he was doing the thing where he was tapping into people's minds. Don't that sound familiar? I almost feel like sometimes they be making movies to kind of just tell us without telling us, hey, pay attention to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all ever feel like that? Just pay attention to this. I'm gonna just throw this out there. That way, when you hear something of substance, it's gonna remind you of that. For us to be like, hey man, we've been trying to hint at this to y'all for the longest. We ain't want to come out and say it. That's what it's making me think of. And I know that seems beyond crazy. Trust me, I know what it sounds like, bro. But it's just something I thought of. You know, I grew up where people would tell you, you know, they don't make no movies about nothing that ain't real life.
There was a research study by Dan Yang at the University of Berkeley, California, that successfully recreated what a cat observes in the physical world, using pure data retrieved from visual neurons. So how can we retrieve data from neurons, and how does this help us? Though many might not believe it, and still regard such scientists as within the realm of supernatural, this is hardly the case. Using an EEG machine, one can gather information from the brain using a differential amplifier, which merely works to gather data from two electrical inputs, and measures the differences compared against each other in electrical occurrence, and shows that data as an output. That means that data can be retrieved from the brain by merely detecting the electrical impulses through the scalp of a human being, and comparing it to other regions of the brain as a whole. The implications of this finding means that if someone could create a technology so sensitive and accurate in picking up electromagnetic fields or electrical stimuli, one could remotely detect these occurrences coming from the human brain and work to gather the data required to translate your thoughts and brain signals into readable information. But that does not help to explain the strange phenomenon that occurs in supposed alien contacts via telepathic communications. If such a device is used, then how is it that humans, when exposed to extraterrestrial life, have the ability to communicate telepathically back to said alien contacts, and why is there no mention of the appearance of such a device? It could very well be that the alleged extraterrestrials evolved this ability to communicate telepathically through natural means in their evolutionary pathways. All life will evolve some ability and means to communicate with their own kin, And not all methods include vocalizations like human communications. Some forms of life use smells, physical contact, body language, and so on. So is it within the realm of impossibility for telepathic communication to have occurred for intellectually advanced forms of life?
I don't think so. But, you know what I mean? It is a long shot, but I don't think it's out the realm of possibility, though.
Body language, and so on. So is it within the realm of impossibility for telepathic communication to have occurred for intellectually advanced forms of life? Let us treat this as a thought experiment. As you advance technologically, war and technologies could become incredibly dangerous and lead to self-annihilation if these routes continue, and a lasting peace cannot be established. However, a great way to avoid contact is to establish a means of open communication and work to better understand the situation at hand. Have you ever tried to communicate a thought, but found words to be a terrible delivery method of translating emotions, personal experiences, observations, and context? What if all life that develops methods of communications that are not able to more accurately represent their inner monologues also lose the ability to equally grow their intelligence as a species, or in this sense, annihilate themselves before becoming an intergalactic race? Could it be then that an intergalactic species would have to naturally form telepathic communications to prevent such catastrophes and be able to advance? Is there evidence of animals on Earth that might be able to evolve in this manner? If we take this theory of data retrieval from the brains of animals, via sensing electrical impulses and changes in the electromagnetic field, then there's evidence of evolution granting this ability amongst life here on Earth. Referred to as electroreception is a sense that humans do not seem to possess, that gives animals the ability to perceive natural electrical stimuli in other life forms around them. Electroreception on Earth has only been seen to occur almost exclusively in aquatic life, or amphibious animals that spend their time in salt water, since salt water is a much better natural conductor compared to the surrounding air. This ability is so sensitive, in fact, that young sharks can recognize the specific characteristics and traits of electrical stimuli among predators, and hide before the creatures even come within sight. Could this be evidence of life on our very own planet's naturally developing methods in evolution that allow for non-verbal communication via electrical signals and readings through telepathy alone? Another interesting development in UFO and alien researches is the lack of verbal communication from extraterrestrial contacts. There are no reports of a screaming, screeching, yelling, or vocalization of any kind coming from supposed encounters. Could this be a statistical reference for their inability to communicate verbally, and only telepathically? Regardless of what you make of these encounters, it's interesting that those who've claimed to have been contacted all share this, saying that whatever they encountered, all of them noted that there was no speaking during the encounter. So what do you make of these interesting observations? And what do you make of those who have reported encountering alleged extraterrestrials? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.
I used to think people, when I was younger, I used to think people, or you hear about people who said they had encounters with UFOs or any type of alien activity. I used to think they were crazy. Fast forward to now and deep diving into it, I would totally love to hear the stories, or people properly interview them and ask them about their encounter, if they were comfortable with that, and hear them explain in detail of the different things they witnessed or encountered during that encounter. I totally sit and listen to like an hour of, it'd be like watching an interrogation clip. I would sit there and watch it. I definitely would. That's how intrigued about it I am. But y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know what you thought of this video. And stick around and stay tuned. Next one, I'm gone. Peace.